we spoke about how this may be inevitable and how we should be preparing for a world with less work. And the most important thing is also what's the meaning to our lives when there's no work, right? Work in itself is such a strong part of our identity, of what we are. So,
Yeah.
what happens to us as individuals and us as a society when there is no work? So, that's again a point which I think the author addressed
Yeah.
pretty well. So, what's your personal take to it, and what do you make of this topic?
Yeah, so I mean the author. I mean, the most books I read, they end the book on a philosophical note generally. They talk about money, power, everything. And usually tends towards going. It goes towards such kind of topics, and this book also is no exception to that. And it is very true in the sense that one cannot imagine a life today without us going to work. Of course,
Yeah.
day in day out, I envisage a situation maybe 10 years down the line where I don't do any work. I do whatever I like to do my hobbies, etc. While that is a very ambitious and an amazing thing that can happen to me, but I don't know when that happens, how will I react to it? Will I be
Yeah.
happy about it? Maybe for a period of 3 to 6 months I could be happy, but beyond that, I would feel bored probably, and I could feel like some portion of my life is not happening to me, and I want to get back to work as soon as possible. I've seen a lot of my friends go through this kind of a thing, and I think even the author also talks about where during the 1930s and 40s, probably a little earlier, I don't remember the timeline, but there were some experiments that also held, right? Wherein when the economic depression happened, and then there were a lot of job losses which happened, how did people react to it? I mean, at least the book says that people found it very, very depressing in life.
Yeah.
People would just walk on the streets without even thinking about what is happening in life. Very, very, very depressed life. And it is very sad to think about something happening to us like that. So it's not a very, very good thing to have. While, like I said, the Keynes talked about an era of leisure, etc. 50% of work, cutting down the time we spend at work comes down, etc. I really wonder how are we going to keep ourselves engaged in that. While fine, there could be bookworms like you and me who can pick up books and start reading it, but what will happen to the rest of the population is a very
Yeah.
serious question that one has to understand. It is going to be really intriguing what's going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's true, right? And I think that's another reason why he talks about why the big state needs to focus on creating avenues for leisure, even for leisure, right? How do they direct avenues for leisure so that people still have that meaning to life, right?
Right.
Beyond just saying, okay, I have all this time. What do I do with all this time?